Crime is on the rise, especially in bigger cities. Only last year, there were over 6,000 watches reported stolen in London. Gangs and, criminal individuals target high-end watches, especially from brands like Rolex, Patek, or AP. And what's even more concerning is the rising trend of the use of violence in these robberies, with some incidents including weapons like machetes even. In Paris, there is even a special task force dedicated to fight luxury watch crime. Every day, I get DMs and emails from you guys asking about whether it's safe or not to wear your watch in major cities here in Europe. So I thought for this video, I give you my best advice, all sorted into a numbered list because YouTube loves that. So based on that, you can make your own informed decision about what you wear in, which places to stay safe. So let's get started. So first, I think the best way to start out with this whole topic of wearing your watch safely, or watch safety in general, is to lay out the foundation of thinking ahead. I mean, let's say you go to Berlin in Germany. Where exactly do you plan on being when you're in Berlin? What are, your plans there? Do you plan on aimlessly roaming the streets, visiting some, tourist sites, and then in the evenings going to, a bar or perhaps pop into Berghain? Or is it like a strictly airport, taxi, hotel, meeting, hotel, taxi, airport kind of situation? As you can tell, the destination is the same, but those are two completely different trips. That being said, I just would advise you to think ahead about what you're going to do and where you plan on going to be. Will you be exposed to larger crowds of people in public places? Will you be walking around by yourself at night? Those things should influence your decision on what to wear on your wrist, or even if you would wear anything of value at all. And I know some of you might be like, oh, why would you always assume the worst of people? But hey, I just think it pays off to be careful sometimes, and I'm a mom, so I not only have to think about myself, but also about my family here. So therefore, I think it is best to avoid making yourself an obvious target and remain under the radar. In 2017, I went out with a friend in London. It was the middle of the day. It was a super busy street in South Kensington, got lots of people around, and I told her that I needed to get some cash before we get on the tube, and so we walked to the ATM closest to us. It took me about 5 or 6 steps when I noticed that a woman was following us, and she kept on doing so even though we took a wrong turn, on our way to the ATM, and we had to walk back down the street. And then she was just standing there while I was withdrawing money, a good 10 steps away from me, pretending to, just, look around and doing whatever. My friend noticed her too, and we both turned around and we just stared her down, making sure that she knew that we knew. She then just, turned around and left. So what went wrong and what went right here? Well, one thing is for sure. I will never openly announce in public that I'll be going to the ATM to get some cash, lesson learned, but I will remain alert and make sure that I'm always aware of my surroundings. And the same goes for watches, of course. If you keep showing off your watch in a situation or location where it can be overheard or, seen by the wrong person, you might get yourself in some serious trouble. Okay, up next is something that might not prevent a robbery in itself, but it can prevent further financial damage if done correctly. For most things in life, we have an insurance. We've got pet insurance, life insurance, health insurance, car insurance. And I don't have this one service provider that I could specifically recommend, but what I would recommend is definitely check whether you can only insure the retail price, or if you can have it adjusted to the current market price of your watch. If it's a watch that is going for over retail. So for example, if you own a White Eye Panda Daytona, you might have bought it for $14,800, but it goes for an average of about $26,000 right now on the gray market. So ideally you would have your insurance cover market price in case you get it stolen. And I would also check to see how flexible of a tariff option you can get. So meaning that you're able to quickly add or delete a watch from your insurance plan in case you buy or sell something, because sometimes that can go very quickly. Like I said, this obviously does not prevent anything or any theft, but at least it covers your financial loss if done correctly. Right, now we have pretty much covered the bases, and some might think that would be it. And well, that kind of is and isn't, because there are 2 more things you could do to help you wear your watch safely when you're out and about in some places and that aren't the best in terms of safety. I think pretty much most of us bought something online from another person and went to their home or just some other agreed upon place to meet up and pick up the item. Could be from Facebook Marketplace or just private eBay or whatever. Would you wear your most expensive standard watch to that pickup? Probably not. And I think the same goes for when you know beforehand that you're going to be in an unfamiliar place or an unfamiliar situation. I know that sometimes it can be really tempting to opt for your latest addition to your collection. I know that you and I love our watches, but when in doubt, leave your flashy watch at home. I think that's kind of a no-brainer. Kind of goes with the first point that I've made in this one. Just when in doubt, switch to something less visible, even though I know it will hurt your watch collector's heart. In that case, it is always better to be safe than sorry. And so lastly, for point number 5, I want to talk about something that I have heard about before, and I even know 1 or 2 people that actually do that. But I am extremely unsure about that. And this would be something I would really like to hear your opinion on. So leave your comment in the comment section down below about this one. So I oftentimes read about people who actively search for replica watches to buy for watches they already own the original version of. Not because they would like to see how close the high-end replica gets. And by the way, if you're interested in that, I recommend checking out my real versus fake videos. I put it in my description box down below. No, because they want a decoy watch in case they get robbed. Or they go for something very cheap but very similar looking, so not like an exact replica, you know, kind of like these Amazon Rolex knockoffs. For example, when they go to or leave from an event, they put on the Amazon watch or the replica, whatever, and their authentic watch like goes right into their pocket or wherever until they get home. And here's my issue. Why make yourself a target with a nice watch, or like a presumably nice watch in the first place? I mean, like I mentioned in the beginning, watch theft and robbery is on the rise and more weapons get used doing it. Why risk yourself getting into such a situation by wearing not even the authentic one, but the replica watch? I mean, if a robber sees you with what they think is a 5711 on your wrist and rob you at gunpoint, threatening you and your, I don't know if you have someone with you, companion's safety, and then you are only wearing a replica, why risk it in the first place? Why risk your life or your well-being for like a cheap Amazon knockoff watch if you could just take it off entirely? So yeah, seems like people are either team decoy or not. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. I'm very excited to see what you guys think about this. And here we have it, 5 pieces of advice for you to make sure that you wear your watch as safely as possible in bigger cities. I know this is a weird topic to talk about, and I'm sure I'll get people saying something along those lines that, like, you know, if you're scared of stuff like that, then you shouldn't leave the house at all and all those things. But hey guys, I'm 5'7". I have no experience in self-defense, and I'm in general a very risk-averse person, so I'm not looking for any trouble in my life. I follow most of these tips, and so far I'm very grateful to be able to say that I have not been robbed yet. If you have any more advice beyond that or tips about watch safety in general, please share them in the comments down below. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to watch more videos like this, I recommend subscribing to my channel, and then I will see you in my next one. Stay safe out there. Bye.